Hello everyone, welcome to my NetSec YouTube channel, a YouTube channel focused on cybersecurity practice. In today's video, I'm gonna show you the easiest and quickest way to install NextCloud using Portainer Docker technology. Previous video I already showed a couple ways to install NextCloud, but in this video I'm going to show you how you can deploy it in probably 10 to 15 minutes. So first thing, of course, you need to get a virtual machine. And using Microsoft Azure free trial, and creating a resource group test. NextCloud 1. I'm gonna use Ubuntu. It's the same thing. There's no big difference for the process. I'm gonna select the small size. I don't need B2S. B1S is enough for this purpose. To make it simple, I'm going to use just password. You can allow SSH, HTTP, 443, those three popular ports. Deployment is in process. Let's go to resource. We have a public IP. We're gonna using remote SSH client to log in. First time there's a security alert warning for your SSH key fingerprint. Just accept that. Great. We logged in. First thing, you need to update your system. And install Docker. That's the command to install Docker. The next step is start the Docker and enable Docker services. Also, we're gonna check the Docker version. So we're using system control command, start the Docker, and then enable Docker. Next command is just verify the Docker version. It's pretty straightforward, just a couple of commands, and then Docker is being installed. Now we need to create a Portainer Docker and start a Portainer service. We created the Portainer volume to use. This is Docker run command running a port 9000, and we're also gonna have Docker name Portainer, and the start policy will be always, and then mount volume data to the one we created. Since we are using port 9000, so we're gonna open that port from our Microsoft Azure firewall networking. So here SSH open, HTTP, HTTPS open. We're gonna add a new inbound port. So in a couple of seconds, we should be able to reach 9000 this port and launch the Portainer configuration wizard. Portainer Docker is running, and we can see the port 9000 has been mapped to the public port. And yeah, we're gonna set up the password, of course. Create a user. Don't need to save it. We're gonna use in local. So Portainer gonna manage a local Docker, so that's why you can also manage a remote or Azure or other using agent to manage other Portainer Docker environment. So we have Docker local. Right now we have one Portainer container has been created. Our next step is to do our NextCloud. Also, we need using Nginx to do proxy service. We're gonna using Cloudflare to map the domain FQDN name to this public IP as well. So there's a couple of things we need to do: Nginx and NextCloud. We're gonna create our Nginx first for our web services. We're gonna use in my own Nginx container template. The port we're gonna use in 80. Map and local port 80 to container port 80. So that's why we need to open the 80 on the Azure firewall. The start policy will be set to always. That's everything we need to do. Just deploy the container. It is Nginx 2. Forgot that. Deploy a container. Okay, now we should be able to reach Nginx web page. Right, log in to command line. There's a couple of things we need to do. We need to change the website, creating a website for Portainer. Install Nano and do update the latest version. That's great. We're gonna create in a couple of domains. That's gonna be our Cloudflare. TNS. Gonna add record. To Portainer. It's an IPv4 address. Save. We're also gonna create another one called Azure NextCloud. Also same IP. Save. Gonna go to Nginx configuration file folder, and we're gonna creating a new Portainer. So that's the one I created before. So I'm gonna just change it to Azure Portainer and change the IP. X. Service Nginx start. So now we are using IP plus port to access to it. Now we should be able to using my own domain name. Access to it. This is my Azure Portainer portal we just created. We have Nginx running right now. Next step is for NextCloud. So container, I'm going to call it NextCloud, and we're going to pull Docker image from NextCloud using latest one, and gonna map and port to 8080. In this way, we also need to create a port for 8080 as well. We create a 9000 for Portainer. We could creating 8080 for NextCloud. The start policy, always deploying a container. Okay, it's up. We can try to access port 8080. Okay, it just need a couple of seconds to get the service comes up and running. So basically, NextCloud is there, but we need to do one thing more. We need to using Nginx. We already configured Azure NextCloud for it using our domain. So what we're gonna do is gonna go to Nginx config folder. We're gonna copy WordPress config as a NextCloud, and we're gonna change it a bit. That's the only thing you need to do. Restart the service. Now we should be able to using Azure NextCloud to access to it. As you can see, we are using our own domain to access to it. So we're gonna create an admin account. We're gonna use admin, and we're not gonna do using recommend apps. They're gonna take a lot of time. We're gonna use in SQLite as database. In this case, we don't need to install any other SQL database, so that's gonna make our life much easier. And if it's a small site, SQLite is more than enough to support it. Uncheck install recommended apps, but if you have enough resources for your virtual machine, so just click them to use it. But for the demonstrating purpose here, and just do as quick as I can. It's gonna take 1 minute to get it done. At the same time, I'm gonna show you the VM's usage. CPU is not that much for last hour. Network traffic a little bit higher than usual because of downloading image from doc.io. Other than that, system is okay. Oh, finish it. Let's see. NextCloud is up and running on your own domain. That's pretty much everything I need to show you today for how to easiest and quickest to install NextCloud on your own domain.